Life is like Rome, dusty, dirty, and ever-changing. We start each day with the best intentions, ready to make something of ourselves. But somewhere along the way, we end up buried under the weight of old habits, new stress, and mental clutter. It's like every day we wake up with a clean slate, yet by the time we go to bed, we're carrying all this unnecessary weight in our minds. It's no wonder we feel overwhelmed and stuck in patterns that we can't seem to break. But spring, the season of renewal, is here. It's the perfect time to clear away the mental dust, the old habits that hold us back, and make room for new, healthier ways of thinking and being. This isn't just about cleaning out your closet or scrubbing the floors. It's about cleaning out the clutter in your mind. We all get weighed down by the endless cycles of stress, regret, and distractions. But what if we could change that? What if we could use this season to not just refresh our physical spaces, but our mental ones too? The truth is, the mind needs spring cleaning just as much as any room in our house. Every day, we accumulate thoughts, worries, and habits that we no longer need. It's time to take a step back and assess what's worth keeping and what needs to go. In this video, we'll dive into the Stoic practices that can help us clear away the mental clutter. Stoicism isn't just some old philosophy, it's a practical guide for life. A way to turn challenges into opportunities and to live with purpose. No matter what's happening around us, the Stoics taught us that by accepting what we can't control, focusing on what truly matters, and learning to embrace the obstacles that come our way, we can live more peacefully and with greater clarity. It's about transforming your mindset to see the beauty in simplicity and the power in being present. These are habits that, when practiced consistently, can lead to a calmer, clearer mind. Imagine waking up every day feeling lighter, without the mental clutter that typically drags you down. Picture yourself tackling your goals with a focused mind, free from the distractions that once seemed so overwhelming. By using Stoic practices like negative visualization, you'll learn to prepare for challenges by imagining the worst, only to realize that fear is often the biggest obstacle standing in your way. You'll learn to see setbacks not as failures, but as opportunities for growth, and by embracing simplicity, you'll find that the more you let go of the unnecessary, the more you make room for what truly matters. Spring cleaning for the mind isn't just about getting rid of the bad habits. It's about creating the space for new, healthier ways of thinking and being. It's about wiping away the mental dust that's accumulated over time and stepping into a season of renewal and clarity. So, as we dive into these Stoic habits, remember this: it's not just about clearing your mind, it's about clearing the way for your best self to emerge. This spring, let's declutter our minds, refresh our perspectives, and set ourselves up for a future full of purpose, peace, and action. The world is constantly changing, and we are often caught in the whirlwind of it all. But amidst this chaos, Marcus Aurelius reminds us of something crucial: the concept of the inner citadel. It's a part of you that no external event can touch, no matter how chaotic or unpredictable life becomes. This inner citadel is your core, your true essence, untouched by the outside world's noise, struggles, or triumphs. It's your foundation, a place of calm amidst the storm. And here's the thing, too often, we allow the circumstances around us to define who we are, to shake us to our core, to make us forget the strength that lies within. Think about it. How often have you let external circumstances dictate your mood, your energy, or your peace of mind? It's easy to get swept up in the highs and lows of life, to react emotionally to every setback or victory. When things are going well, we feel on top of the world. When they're not, it feels like the weight of the world is on our shoulders. But Marcus Aurelius challenges us to break free from this cycle, to stop letting the world dictate who we are or how we feel. The truth is, your inner strength and peace of mind should never be dictated by the external world. The power of your inner citadel lies in its ability to remain untouched by the world's chaos. This spring, it's time to reclaim that power. It's time to reflect on how we react to life's ups and downs. Do we allow our peace of mind to be dictated by every external event? Or do we hold steady in our inner strength, knowing that we are not defined by the storms that swirl around us? Reclaiming your inner citadel is not about ignoring the chaos around you, nor is it about pretending everything is perfect when it's not. It's about recognizing that, regardless of what happens, you have control over your reactions. You have the power to choose how you respond to life's challenges. And when you remember that, you'll realize that nothing and no one can truly take away your peace unless you allow them to. Imagine a life where you are not constantly at the mercy of external events. What would it feel like to wake up every day knowing that no matter what happens, your peace of mind is yours to keep? That's the freedom we're talking about. Freedom from the chaos of the world. Freedom to live with intention and purpose, unaffected by the ups and downs around you. This spring, as you reflect on the concept of your inner citadel, consider how often you've let circumstances define you. Ask yourself, how often do you give away your power by letting the outside world control your thoughts and emotions? And what would happen if you started taking your peace back, bit by bit? What if you decided that your true essence, the strength, the calm, the clarity, was not for sale, no matter what life throws your way? Reclaiming your inner citadel is a choice, and it's a choice that can set you free. So, this season, step into your power. Don't let the chaos define you. Build your own inner citadel, one where peace, clarity, and strength are always within your reach, no matter what happens around you. Our thoughts have an immense power over us, far greater than we often realize. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Our life is dyed by the color of our thoughts." This simple yet profound statement holds the key to understanding why so many of us feel trapped in negativity. If we constantly dwell on the negative, if we focus on the flaws, the setbacks, the mistakes, that's all we will ever see. The world, in turn, becomes a reflection of that negative mindset. We find ourselves stuck in a cycle of pessimism, where each day feels heavier than the last, as though we're walking through a fog of our own creation. But here's the thing. Negativity is not inevitable. It's not something that's fixed or inescapable. It's something we choose, consciously or unconsciously, and just as easily as we choose negativity, we can choose to break free from it. The power to change our lives lies not in the world around us but in the way we perceive it. If we shift our thoughts, we shift our reality. If we choose to see the opportunities instead of the obstacles, the blessings instead of the burdens, our entire perspective changes. This spring, it's time to challenge the negativity that holds us back. It's time to stop allowing our minds to be dominated by fear, doubt, and frustration, instead of seeing the world through a lens of scarcity and lack. We can choose to see it through a lens of abundance and possibility. We can train ourselves to focus on the good, to seek out the moments of gratitude that exist even in the midst of hardship. And once we do that, something incredible happens. Our entire experience of life transforms. I've seen this shift firsthand in my own life. There was a time when I allowed negativity to rule my thoughts. I would fixate on everything that was going wrong, on the things I didn't have, on the mistakes I'd made, on the opportunities I'd missed. And as you can imagine, that negative mindset only led to more frustration, more disappointment, and more feelings of being stuck. But once I started to consciously focus on gratitude, on the things that were going right, on the lessons I was learning, on the progress I was making, everything changed. The same world I had seen as bleak and overwhelming suddenly became vibrant and full of possibility. I realized that I wasn't waiting for life to change. I was changing how I looked at it. It's not about ignoring the difficulties or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about choosing where to place your focus. It's about noticing the small victories, the moments of joy, the opportunities for growth that exist even in the most challenging times. When you start to make gratitude a habit, it becomes a filter through which you experience the world, and that filter, in turn, colors everything you see with a sense of hope and possibility. So, this spring, challenge yourself. Challenge those negative thoughts that seem to pop up without invitation. Replace them with thoughts of gratitude, with a focus on what you can control, with an openness to possibility. The more you practice this, the more natural it will become, until one day you'll realize that negativity no longer holds any power over you. And when that happens, you'll begin to see the world in an entirely new light, a world filled with potential, with opportunity, and with the kind of peace that comes from knowing that your thoughts, not your circumstances, shape your reality. Time is one of the few things in life that we can never get back. Marcus Aurelius, in his wisdom, reminds us of something we often take for granted. Time is limited. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking we have all the time in the world, that tomorrow will be the perfect day to start. But the harsh reality is that procrastination, even though it might feel like a small delay, is just another way of wasting time. Every day we put off taking action is a day we'll never get back. The more we delay, the more we lose, and before we know it, weeks, months, or even years have slipped through our fingers. I've been there myself, caught in the cycle of, "I'll start tomorrow." Whether it was putting off a new project, delaying a fitness goal, or pushing aside a difficult conversation, I always convinced myself that tomorrow would be the day everything changed. But over time, I realized that tomorrow never comes. The only day that truly matters is today. The only moment in which we have the power to act is now. Procrastination feels comfortable in the short term, doesn't it? It gives us an excuse to avoid discomfort, to avoid taking responsibility for the changes we know we need to make. But when we step back and truly reflect on it, the cost of procrastination is clear. It's not just about lost time, it's about lost opportunities, lost potential, and lost growth. We trade our future for the temporary comfort of avoiding the present moment. And in doing so, we trap ourselves in a cycle of inertia. What if today was the day you stopped waiting for tomorrow? What if you realized that every moment you spend waiting for the perfect time is another moment you'll never get back? We all have goals, dreams, and aspirations, but so many of us wait for the right circumstances to make them a reality. We tell ourselves that when we have more time, more money, more confidence, more support, that's when we'll take action. But those circumstances rarely align in the way we imagine. Life is unpredictable, and there will never be a perfect moment to start. This spring, I encourage you to take that first step, no matter how small. It doesn't matter if you don't have all the answers or if you're not fully prepared. What matters is that you make today count. It's about taking action, even if it's just one small step toward your goal. Because those small steps, when taken consistently, add up to big changes over time. And those changes, they're what will define the future you create. I know from experience that the hardest part is starting. We all feel the weight of uncertainty and fear when we face something new. But what's more uncomfortable than the fear of failure is the regret of never even trying. I've had moments where I've looked back and realized how much time I wasted. How many opportunities I missed simply because I was waiting for the right time to begin. But I've also had moments of clarity when I started acting in the present. And each action, no matter how small, fueled my progress. The truth is, time is fleeting, and it doesn't wait for anyone. If we continue to put things off, we'll end up looking back one day, wishing we had started sooner. The key to making today count is simple. Stop waiting. Stop making excuses, and start now. The longer you delay, the further away your goals will get. So, use this moment, this spring, as the catalyst for change. Make today the day you begin, not tomorrow. The time to act is now. Indecision is one of the most insidious forces in our lives. We think it's harmless, a little hesitation here, a second guess there. But the truth is, indecision slowly erodes our confidence, our momentum, and ultimately, our potential. Agrippinus, a Stoic philosopher, understood this intimately. He demonstrated how decisive clarity, the ability to know exactly what we stand for, prevents us from wasting time on things that don't align with our values. The more we hesitate, the more we delay action, and in doing so, we create a kind of stagnation that holds us back from living authentically. I've seen this in my own life. There were times when I found myself stuck, not because I lacked direction, but because I couldn't make up my mind. Should I take that new opportunity or stick with the status quo? Should I stand up for what I believe in, even if it's uncomfortable, or stay silent to avoid conflict? These moments of indecision felt small at the time, but they had a larger impact on my life than I realized. The truth is, every moment we spend vacillating between choices is a moment we're not living fully, not moving toward the things that matter most. Agrippinus's approach was simple, yet powerful. Be clear on what you stand for, and don't waste time on anything that doesn't align with that. Whether it's deciding to attend a morally questionable event or choosing to live according to your core principles. The clarity of your actions is key. When we are clear on our values, decisions become easier. We stop wasting time debating with ourselves. We stop second-guessing. We stop feeling like we're stuck in a state of paralysis, wondering which direction to go. In my own experience, I've found that the more decisive I am, the more empowered I feel. I'm no longer trapped in a cycle of indecision, trying to please everyone or avoid discomfort. I've adopted what I call the hell yes or hell no rule. If I'm not fully committed to something, if I'm not excited about it, then it's a clear hell no. There's no middle ground. There's no room for wishy-washy decisions that pull me in multiple directions. This rule has allowed me to stop wasting precious time on things that don't serve me, things that don't align with my values, and it's freed me to focus on what truly matters. I can tell you from experience that when you stop hesitating and start making decisive choices, your life begins to change. You begin to move with purpose. You start to act in alignment with your values, and you quickly realize that you don't have time for the things that drain your energy or distract you from your goals. It's liberating, really, to let go of the constant inner conflict and replace it with the clarity of action. This spring, I challenge you to stop vacillating. Take a moment to reflect on your values and what you're truly willing to stand for. Then, adopt the hell yes or hell no rule. Be clear about what you want and what you don't. Once you do, you'll find that decisions become easier, life becomes simpler, and you'll have more time and energy to focus on what really matters. We live in a world that constantly demands our attention. Our phones buzz with notifications, emails flood our inboxes, and messages pop up at all hours of the day and night. It's easy to fall into the trap of feeling like we must be available to everyone at all times, but here's the truth. You don't owe everyone your time or attention. Not every email, text, or message deserves an immediate response. The constant pull from the outside world can leave us feeling drained, scattered, and completely disconnected from what truly matters. I've fallen into this trap myself. In the past, I would check my phone the moment it buzzed, always thinking I had to reply, to be present, to make sure everyone around me was taken care of. But what I realized, painfully, was that I was giving so much of myself to others, leaving little energy or time for my own priorities, my own goals. I became so focused on reacting to external stimuli that I lost sight of my own intentions. I let my time slip away in small, seemingly insignificant interactions that didn't align with my core values. Guarding your time and energy is not selfish. It's necessary for living a purposeful life. Each time you allow your attention to be hijacked by every message or call, you are sacrificing time you could be investing in things that matter most to you. This constant reaction to external demands pulls you in multiple directions and prevents you from making meaningful progress toward your own goals. You end up feeling like you're moving in circles, doing everything for everyone else, but never really getting anywhere yourself. This spring, I challenge you to set boundaries. It's time to stop reacting to every external stimulus and start focusing on what aligns with your values. Start by taking a hard look at where your energy is going. Are you spending your time on things that actually move you forward? Or are you simply reacting to the demands of others? Create clear boundaries. Set aside time for what's important to you and don't let others infringe upon that. It might mean saying no to certain requests, ignoring some messages for a while, or turning off notifications so you can focus on your work or personal development. I've found that the more I guard my time, the more I can accomplish. When I stopped being so available to everyone, I started making deeper progress in the areas that mattered most. I began to feel more in control of my life, more aligned with my goals, and more fulfilled in my day-to-day activities. I realized that by not constantly reacting to the demands of others, I was giving myself the space to focus on my own growth, to develop my skills, and to nurture my relationships with the people who truly matter. It's not easy, especially in a world that constantly asks for our attention, but creating boundaries is essential. Prioritize your time, protect your energy, and be intentional about where you place your focus. Don't let every email or message dictate your life. Take control. Focus on what brings you closer to your goals. And don't be afraid to say no to the things that don't serve you. The more you protect your time, the more powerful you become in shaping your own future. In today's world, we are constantly told to hustle. We're encouraged to work harder, push faster, and always be on the go. The idea of slowing down seems counterintuitive, almost like it's a luxury we can't afford. But here's the reality: sometimes, in order to move forward faster, we need to slow down. The Latin proverb, Festina lente, meaning, make haste slowly, perfectly captures the paradox of achieving more by doing less. If we focus on being deliberate, intentional, and thoughtful in our actions, it's not about rushing to check off tasks or to achieve the next big thing. It's about pacing ourselves, ensuring that each step we take is meaningful, calculated, and aligned with our long-term goals. I'll admit, I've been caught up in the hustle myself. There was a time when I thought the only way to succeed was by working non-stop, racing from one task to the next, always chasing the next opportunity. The faster I worked, the more I thought I would accomplish. But over time, I began to notice the toll it was taking on me. My work felt rushed, disconnected, and often lacked the depth and quality that I knew I was capable of. I was always moving, but I wasn't getting anywhere that felt truly fulfilling. The truth is, this constant rush leads to burnout, stress, and even worse, stagnation. When we're always sprinting, we miss the bigger picture. We overlook important details, make rash decisions, and, in the end, often have to backtrack because we didn't take the time to plan carefully in the first place. It's like driving a car full speed ahead but never checking the map. Eventually, you'll hit a roadblock. That's where Fistina Lente comes in. By slowing down, by taking the time to think, plan, and execute with precision, we give ourselves the space to make smarter decisions. Slowing down doesn't mean doing less. It means doing more of what matters. It means focusing on quality over quantity, strategy over speed. By slowing down, we allow ourselves the opportunity to truly engage with our work, to give it the attention it deserves, and to create something that's not only effective but sustainable. This approach has made a world of difference in my own life. When I stopped chasing after everything at once and started planning with intention, I noticed a profound shift. I became more focused, more deliberate in my actions, and ultimately more productive. The things I worked on felt more fulfilling because I was investing my time and energy where it truly counted. Instead of working harder, I started working smarter, and this, in turn, brought me more success than I ever experienced during my hustle phase. Slowing down to go faster may seem like a paradox, but it's the secret to sustainable success. When you take the time to plan carefully and execute with precision, you set yourself up for long-term growth. You make fewer mistakes, conserve your energy, and build momentum that lasts. So this spring, let go of the hustle. Take a step back, slow down, and approach your goals with intention. It's not about how fast you can move. It's about how wisely you move. And in the end, that's what will lead you to the success you've been chasing all along. Grudges are a heavy burden, often carried for far longer than we realize. We think that holding onto resentment is some kind of justice or punishment for the people who've wronged us. But the truth is, the only person we're hurting is ourselves. Marcus Aurelius said it best: those who harbor resentment are long gone, and their grudges died with them. The people we are angry at have already moved on, whether they regret their actions or not. But here we are, holding on to the past, allowing old hurts to shape our present, while they remain unaffected by the weight of our grudges. I know this from personal experience. There was a time in my life when I held onto a grudge against someone who had wronged me. I thought that by staying angry, I was somehow preserving my dignity, protecting myself from being hurt again. But over time, I realized that I wasn't protecting myself at all. I was letting that person occupy space in my mind, consuming my thoughts, energy, and emotional well-being. The anger that I thought would empower me only drained me. It made me bitter, cynical, and closed off to the possibility of peace and growth. The more I held on to the grudge, the more it defined me, and the less I was able to move forward in any meaningful way. Grudges tie us to the past. They keep us tethered to old wounds, preventing us from experiencing the present fully. Every time we think about that person, every time we relive that moment of betrayal or hurt, we are essentially giving them power over us again and again. We're letting the past control our future. And the worst part, the people we hold grudges against often have no idea of the weight we're carrying. We're holding onto something that doesn't affect them at all, but it continues to poison our peace, our relationships, and our progress. This spring, it's time to break free from that cycle. Let go of the grudges that have been holding you back. You don't need to condone the actions of others or forget the wrongs that were done to you. But you do need to free yourself from the anger and resentment that come with them. Holding a grudge doesn't punish anyone but you. It keeps you stuck in a place of pain, preventing you from healing and moving forward. And the longer you hold on, the harder it becomes to let go. I've learned that forgiveness is not a gift we give to others. It's a gift we give ourselves. Letting go of a grudge is not about excusing someone else's behavior. It's about releasing the hold that anger has over your life. It's about making room for peace, for growth, for new experiences that are free from the weight of past resentments. The act of forgiveness doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't mean you have to forget what happened. It means acknowledging the hurt, learning from it, and choosing to move on. It means choosing peace over pain, growth over stagnation. When you let go of a grudge, you free yourself from the emotional chains that have been holding you back. And in that freedom, you open the door to healing, to deeper relationships, and to a more fulfilled life. So this spring, make it your mission to release the grudges that have been weighing you down. Free yourself from the past and make space for peace. Let go of the anger, the resentment, and the bitterness, and watch how much lighter you feel. Let this season of renewal be the one where you take the first step toward freedom. Freedom from the burden of the past and toward a future filled with growth and possibility. In today's world, it's all too easy to get swept up in the chaos around us. The news, social media, and public opinion have a powerful influence on how we think, feel, and act. We are constantly bombarded with information, opinions, and trends that demand our attention and often dictate our reactions. But Stoicism teaches us a crucial lesson. We don't have to be swayed by external forces. We don't have to follow the crowd or react impulsively to every headline, every post, or every viral trend. Instead, we have the power to remain grounded, to pause, and to reflect before we act. I've found that in my own life, the more I've allowed myself to react without thinking, the more I've lost control over my own choices. In the heat of the moment, it's tempting to give in to the pressure of the crowd. We see something that triggers us, and before we know it, we're caught up in the frenzy, sharing opinions, arguing, or making decisions we don't even fully understand. We get caught in the mob mentality, the urge to follow the herd because it feels easier or safer, or more socially acceptable. But here's the problem. In doing so, we lose sight of our own values, our own principles, and ultimately, our own sense of self. The Stoics understood the dangers of being reactive. They knew that when we let external events dictate our emotions and actions, we lose our power. We allow the noise of the world to drown out our own inner voice, to steer us away from the things that truly matter. The more reactive we are, the less control we have over our own lives. This is where restraint comes in. It's about taking a step back before we react, pausing long enough to reflect on how we truly feel and what we believe in. I've learned that when I take the time to reflect, when I resist the urge to immediately react, I make better decisions. I stay true to my values, even when the world around me is in chaos. It's not easy, especially when everyone else is quick to judge or criticize. But the ability to pause and reflect gives me the clarity to respond thoughtfully instead of rashly. It allows me to remain steadfast in my beliefs, regardless of the noise and distractions around me. This spring, I challenge you to practice restraint. Resist the urge to react to every bit of news, every opinion, every trend. Instead, take a moment to pause, to reflect, and to consider how your values align with your response. In a world that constantly demands our attention and actions, this simple practice of restraint will not only bring you peace, but it will also help you live a life that is guided by your own principles, not by the influence of the outside world. The ability to resist the mob mentality and remain steadfast in your values is a powerful form of freedom. It means you are no longer a puppet to the forces that surround you. It means you are in control of your actions, your thoughts, and your life. And it means you can move forward with purpose, knowing that your decisions are aligned with who you truly are, not who the world wants you to be. So, take a step back, reflect before you react, and choose the path that reflects your true self. It's easy to be open, to let people in, to think that by spreading our energy and trust around, we're building a network of relationships that will elevate us. But not every relationship is meant to be. And not every person deserves our time, trust, or attention. Marcus Aurelius, with his timeless wisdom, warned us to avoid false friendships at all costs. These relationships may seem harmless on the surface, but they often drain us, confuse us, or lead us down paths that stray far from who we truly are and where we truly want to go. In a world where we're constantly connected, it's easy to be overwhelmed by the sheer volume of people and voices we encounter. But not everyone in our circle, or even in our extended networks, will have the best intentions for us. And not every person should be allowed the privilege of being close to us. I've learned this lesson the hard way. There were times when I opened up to people who, in hindsight, were not interested in supporting my growth, but in using me to further their own agendas. These relationships began innocently enough, with shared moments and common interests. But over time, I started to feel a sense of unease. It wasn't always overt. Sometimes it was a comment that didn't sit right, or a situation where I realized the other person wasn't as trustworthy as I thought. Other times, it was simply a sense of emotional drain, a constant feeling that I was giving more than I was receiving, and that my energy was being used to sustain relationships that were more about convenience than connection. These false friendships aren't always malicious, but they can be incredibly toxic. When you invest your time and emotions into people who don't align with your values or support your growth, you start to lose sight of your own priorities. Your energy is pulled in different directions, and the more you invest, the less you have for the relationships that truly matter, those that nurture you, challenge you, and help you become the best version of yourself. That's why it's crucial to be selective about who you allow into your inner circle. Relationships are not just about being around people for the sake of connection. They're about finding those who truly lift you up, those who share your values and are genuinely invested in seeing you succeed. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of having a large social circle, of being liked by everyone. But the truth is, it's far more powerful to have a few people who truly understand you, respect you, and push you to be better. In my own life, I've become much more intentional about the people I let in. I've learned to set boundaries and recognize the signs of false friendships before they can become a bigger issue. And, most importantly, I've started investing more of my time and energy into relationships that align with my goals, my values, and my vision for the future. These relationships are not always the easiest or the most convenient, but they are the most fulfilling, and they have made all the difference in my personal growth and success. So, this spring, take a step back and reflect on the people you're letting into your life. Are they truly supporting you, challenging you, and encouraging you to grow? Or are they taking more than they give, holding you back, or keeping you stagnant? Be selective with your relationships. Cut out the false friendships, the ones that drain you or lead you off course. Focus your energy on those who align with your values and truly want the best for you. This will not only free up emotional space but will also propel you forward into a life that's richer, more meaningful, and full of the kind of connections that matter most. Change is never easy. It demands effort, commitment, and the willingness to step out of your comfort zone. But the truth is, change is the only way to grow. Without it, we stay stuck, repeating the same patterns, feeling the same frustrations, and wondering why we're not moving forward. Yet, so often, we wait for the perfect moment to start, believing that tomorrow will be the day we finally make that change. But tomorrow doesn't exist. There's only today, and if we don't take action now, we risk letting this season, this opportunity for transformation, slip through our fingers. I've been there, caught in the cycle of waiting, thinking I'd change when the time is right. But I realized that the perfect time will never come, and if I wanted to change, I had to start right now. Every day I put it off was a day I wasn't living the life I wanted. Every moment I hesitated was another chance I let slip away. And it wasn't until I stopped waiting and took action, no matter how small, that I began to see real progress. That's when things started to shift. And now, looking back, I can tell you this: change is hard. but it's always worth it. This spring, don't let that same hesitation hold you back. Don't wait for a perfect moment. Instead, use this season as your turning point. Take action now. Clean up your life. Clean up your habits. And clean up your mindset. Stop holding on to the things that are keeping you stuck. Whether it's the grudges, the negative thoughts, or the distractions that pull you away from your true purpose. Now is the time to let them go. Take the first step, no matter how small it may seem, and begin the process of creating a life that aligns with your values, your passions, and your goals. And don't do it alone. Join the Daily Stoic community, a group of like-minded individuals who are committed to living with purpose, intention, and wisdom. The Stoic philosophy teaches us that we don't have to face life's challenges alone. We can rely on the collective wisdom of others who are walking the same path. By joining us, you'll gain the support, encouragement, and accountability you need to keep moving forward. Together, we can make this season the start of something truly transformative. You are capable of more than you realize, and by committing to this journey of change, you can create a life that's not just about surviving, but about thriving. So, this is your final call. Don't wait any longer. Take action now. Clean up your habits. Clean up your mindset. Clean up your life. The time for change is now. Let's spring forward together into a life that's full of purpose, fulfillment, and growth. Join us, and let's make this the season where everything shifts.